You know what's crazy? I was just a couple of months ago looking around when Lamont Roach was going to fight Patrick McCory, and I was walking around and I was trying to figure out, hey man, what's a way I could support Roach? You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I'm gonna follow him on Twitter, and this is just a couple months ago, and I was like, man, what's a way I could support Lamont Roach, man? And I think he had like a TV series coming on, a YouTube series. And I said, hey man, let me go ahead and post this on my page and see if I can support him. And this is all like the week of his fight when he was on Pro Box. I knew it was a hometown fight. And none of these dudes who talking about Lamont Roach from the city and none of these dudes was posting none of this stuff, man. None of these dudes was retweeting his fight. When his fight was on, I went live. None of these dudes was on live, man. What's up with these fake Lamont Roach fans, man? Where all these dudes coming from? Are you cosplaying as a Tank? You a Tank fan? So are you doing the same thing that y'all was doing when y'all called Frank Martin a duck against Shakur Stevenson? But then when Tank blessed him and put his sword on his shoulders and knighted him, that's when y'all sat up here and said, okay, well, Frank Martin good now because Tank said so. What's up with all that? Because Lamont Roach wasn't good before Tank picked him. Cause that's what I'm confused at. I'm like, man, what? Hold on. Wasn't I supporting Lamont Roach last fight when his little brother was on there? Cause the first thing I thought about was, I said, man, I gotta figure out who Lamont Roach's little brother is. He's 5. I was like, yeah, Lamont Roach definitely putting in business. And I got a lot of respect for Lamont Roach before he got the Tank Davis fight, because I still feel like the Hector Garcia upset. It wasn't really no upset because, you know, Lamont Roach is like that, but it's not making me mad that anybody supporting Roach, though. I feel like Roach should get a lot of support out here for what he does in the sport of boxing. Always takes hardest fights, never takes any easy fights, always in the mix. It's just a lot of stuff he does that's really good for the sport, especially young guys coming up, learning how to move and navigate through the boxing game, especially when you're taking an early loss. Because even though he lost to Jamel Herring, that was still early. He was still a young guy. He was still very young. Because a lot of guys around that age could have took that fight with Jamel Herring, and that would have been tough. Jamel Herring, he didn't lose to a lot of young guys. First young guy he lost to was Shakur Stevenson. Now we know how talented and familiar those guys were with each other, but man, all these people out here act like they just super Lamont Roach fans, though, man. Cut it out, man. I gotta call all this stuff out. People just walking around like ain't nobody gonna say nothing about it. I'm gonna say something about it. If I gotta say something about it every day, I will. I'll make a video calling out fake fans every day. Because fans jump on everybody's page and want to test everybody's boxing knowledge. And, well, he said something wrong about boxing, all that other stuff. It's getting annoying now. Like, y'all don't know boxing like that. Quit acting like y'all were day one Lamont Roach fans. I was just on Twitter, and during Lamont Roach's fight coming up, I'm like, dang, ain't nobody sitting up here hitting the like button and retweet. Like, Lamont Roach got a fight coming up. He finna fight on Pro Box. None of these dudes was sitting up here. And he fought in D.C. None of these dudes showed up. None of these dudes sitting up here retweet. Now everybody out here, man, you know, Lamont Roach should take the same size, man. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of guys at 130 and 135 that's the same size as Tank. Duh. Eastside Cruz the same size as Tank. So what? They act like they're just super Lamont Roach fans, man. That's the thing that get me about boxing. They need to be called out. Because if it don't, everybody, I know Lamont Roach saying, a lot of people saying he don't deserve to fight. No, ain't nobody saying he don't deserve to fight. Rolly Romero don't deserve to fight. So the question about people who not deserving to fight, that's been passed, bro. It ain't about you not deserving no fight. Rolly Romero ain't deserve a fight if you want to be real about it. Rolly did nothing in boxing to earn the Tank Davis fight. Because last time I checked, you got to earn the Tank Davis fight. You got to earn it. You got to do certain things. Like they said against Shakur Stevenson. Well, Shakur had his last performance went good. He need to prove himself. He need to go out there and fix his brand and stuff like that. Man, get out of here, man. Y'all ain't no Lamont Roach fans, man. Cut it out, man. And it's mostly black guys running around talking like this. Yeah, man, Lamont Roach. Support Lamont Roach when he ain't fighting Tank Davis then. Oh, you only support guys who fight Tank Davis? Okay. Okay. So you're not a boxing fan? Okay. You just like Tank. I like Tank 10 years ago, before you did. That makes me a bigger Tank Davis fan than all y'all. I ain't sitting up here just supporting Tank Davis just can roll out an old man in a wheelchair. So yeah, we fight next. I ain't that type of fan. I ain't never been that type of fan for no man. I'm a fan of boxing first. Matter of fact, when I was watching UFC, Chuck Liddell was the number one guy in UFC, and I didn't even think Chuck Liddell was all that. I said Chuck Liddell got some hands, but he ain't really my style. My style more so like a John Jones or something. And that's what John Jones came in. And I said, yeah, John Jones the best. Have I been wrong yet? 10, 20 years later, John Jones still the best, right? So what are we talking about? Like 15 years later, John Jones still the best in UFC, so what are we talking about? And you know he is. But yeah, dude's just out here jumping with anything. Jumping with anything. I can respect, let me tell you why. I can respect a lot of other fans in boxing because when they fighters take a certain fight, they're like, nah, that ain't it. Even when Wilder had picked Robert Helenius. When Wilder picked Robert Helenius, a guy who was a top 10 contender, top 5 contender, just came off an upset win, 2 upset wins, and later fought Joshua, who nobody had a problem with. When Wilder was going to fight Robert Helenius, everybody like, oh, man, he fighting that guy? He ain't fighting nobody. This nigga, he just fought Tyson Fury 3 times. But for some reason, Robert Helenius ain't good enough. Yeah, like I said, bro, y'all got different strokes for different folks. Call it out like it is. It's all good. That's the way you move it in boxing. Cool. But just call it out. Let's be real. Let's be real.